We don't want
Hey, hey. Yes, people, I see the love, I see the fire, I see the energy coming through. That is the great sounds of Ras Negus I. And you know what? He's joining us live and direct on Instagram, okay, as well as on the radio. So make sure you show him lots of love, lots of blessings. Big shout out to everybody passing through. And of course, Ras Negus I, how are you?
Denaneng, I am well. Give thanks. Blessed love.
Every time, every time. So you know what, Ras Negus I, tell the listeners out there a little bit about yourself, who you are, and the kind of vibe and energy that you have.
Well, Ras Negus I, as they them know, is an Ethiopian name given to I by my parents, as I was born into a Rastafari family. And you know, Ras Negus is all about, you know what I mean, upliftment, education, liberation, same way, you know. Yeah, bringing a different kind of vibration to the nations out there, you know. Because the objective is to build academy of love, you know. Well, we know say the love right across the board, you know what I mean? Because the man said create everyone equally the same. It's just man make themselves different. So give thanks for the moment in time. Blessed
every
love.
Time. For real. And you know what? Ever since that day I met you, I think it was in Birmingham now, you've always been positive, coming with lots of different energy, different vibes. What keeps you, that positivity, what keeps you going with the music and the positivity?
Well, you know, so we are students of life. So we just adapt to our situation of life and we move accordingly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So whatever is happening, we always try to keep abreast with the now, the current moment in time. But, you know, we just always try to keep it positive, but still have a greater understanding of what's really happening in the world at large, same way, you know?
For real. And you know, tell the listeners who are locked in on IG, who are locked in on the radio, how you got into music. How did it happen? How did this journey for you begin?
Well, Ras Negus I was born into the Rastafari faith. I was born in, as a member of the 12th tribe of Israel. And in the 12th tribe of Israel, you had all the celebrities that there was in the world at the time. In the likeness of Dennis Brown, Freddie McGregor, you name it. They were all there. And I was a child absorbing all of that fullness. So being in and around that vibration, even though we aspire to do many other things, music was just on the forefront. And even though I wanted to be a school teacher, music said like, well, you're going to use music to teach. So that is what I'm doing these days. I use music as my platform or my classroom. Right?
Wow, for real. And so, you know, with that being said, a lot of listeners, they might not know what the 12 tribes is, the Nyabingi is. Do you want to just give us a little rundown for those who don't know what it is?
Well, within the Rastafari movements, you have different mansions, different houses. And 12 tribe of Israel is one of the houses within the Rastafari movements. You know what I mean? You have the Bobo Shanti, Nyabingi. You know, I come across as a Bobo Shanti as I've been wearing a turban from 17 years old. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So,
for real.
I'm on the kind of bridge the gap. You know, I function within the 12 tribe, I function within Bingi, I function within Bobo. But I was born originally, my mother and my father is from the house of 12 tribe of Israel. And still functioning members up to this very day. But I'm on kind of still dynamic within the Rastafari movements, and I'm on, you know, love the principle of the Bobo Shanti, and I'm on the kind of steadfast to that vibration up until this day. So really give thanks.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, with that being said, you know, there's lots of different challenges, especially being here in the UK. How do you kind of fight and overcome those challenges?
Well, the greatest thing, you know, one said the greatest thing is to know yourself. So when you know yourself, it's like, it doesn't matter what's happening around you. You know your purpose, you know your mission, you know what you're about. So in spite of everything that is happening, you know, it's just prophecy and history repeating itself. So when you can really adjust to the times and move according and stick to your role, because every man is doing their role and everyone is doing their fullness. The evil man are always the evil. The righteous man are always the righteousness. So if you're a righteous man, you're fast in righteousness. If you're an evil man, you try and change. Because it's good over evil every time.
Every time. And you know what? We just played a great track called Africa from the Bamboo album. Tell the listeners, if they haven't heard the Bamboo album, tell us a little bit about that, how it came about and how many tracks and so on.
Well, the Bamboo album is just a fullness of introducing Ras Negus I to the musical world, because I was always into music but never in music business. So now that I am introducing myself to the business of music, whereby people can book me for shows and different things to do with music. So I went about and gathered up some songs that I've put out there, and they haven't got the justice that they deserve by producers. They just stick them online, you know what I mean, on an iTunes or just on a Spotify, and there was no promotion. So I use the analogy of bamboo to say, the bamboo is a plant that when you plant it, it don't shoot same time. It take a little while before it shoots. So the bamboo analogy depicts my musical journey. You may water the bamboo, and sometimes some bamboo take 5 years to shoot from out the ground. But whenever it shoots, it becomes the fastest growing plant and very strong as well. So that is my fullness right now. I am just, I'm full on with music. I am really up to it and up for it and ready to go full time now. So Ras Negus I is here and is a force to be reckoned with.
Definitely can't argue with that. And there's 2 great releases as well that I'm loving from yourself. One is called August Town and the other one is Find It. And I love those 2 tunes. Tell us something about those 2 releases.
Well, August Town is a place where man was born and raised in. Well, my side is better known as Dreadites or Bedwood Gardens, but the whole entire area is the August Town area. And for all who don't know about Alexander Bedward, he was the man from August Town who came and awakened, after the transatlantic slave trade. Alexander Bedward was one of the first man who came and uplift the downtrodden people. And he came from a place called Auguston. And the reason why it was named after him, Auguston, because it was originally African Hill. That's where the slaves from Ligani and Barbican and them places to run away and go to Auguston. So because of the violence that is escalating in Auguston now, I saw it fitting to do a song about Auguston. And the song is out there now on many platforms. Ones can go and listen and leave a feedback and even purchase the song same way, because it's out there. It's on the Silver Diamond production. For real. And I know you've got some pre-releases as well. I'm feeling those vibes. Tell the listeners about these pre-releases and what they can expect for the future. Well, as ones know, there's presently an album out now called The Bamboo, as we just discussed. But there's a next album because I realized that I have so much songs, for an artist who's not really been introduced to the world so much. I have so much songs, and they are impactful songs as well. And I'm just here sitting and I'm saying, what am I waiting on? So I'm just taking it up at myself now to just put a next album together. So one can look for the near future, one can look for a next album, because it will be just album after album, because I've got the resources to do it. You know what I mean? So I'm just on it right now. You know what I mean? So these new releases are pre-releases. They are coming on the next album from Ras Negus I.
Definitely. For real. And we got a question in from a listener from the radio. They're asking, how did you feel when that young girl's locks was cut in Jamaica, and kind of the impact it had on you? Because it impacted me really hard. But I wanted to know what it did for yourself.
You see, even as I mentioned it raised up the word and hear them from my body and my head and everything. Because when I saw it at first, I had to take a second look, and I was watching it with my daughter. And I've got plenty of daughters, for real. And all of my daughters, them have dreadlocks. And I saw impression on her face, and it really saddened me even more when I saw her impression, to look at, like, why did they do that? How could they do that in 2021? We thought we had passed that already. We thought we had gone past that. So really and truly, sometimes the system have a way to do things to trigger us to do other things so they could do other stuff. So what we have to do is kind of maintain composure and really just hold steadfastness and know that wicked is going to be wicked still. Despite all the demonstration, despite all the marches, wicked is just wicked. Them know them just know wickedness. So when you see all these acts now, it's just the wicked exercising themselves, you know. So yeah, it make I and I feel as a type of way, but it make I and I want to hasten as well. If you know, say we have to carve out a place in the sun to save ourselves from the great annihilation. You know?
Definitely.
So
For
that
real,
was my
for real.
point on it still, and I hope she gets some justice, and hope these things will never reoccur in spite of the whole thing that is happening right now, you know?
Definitely. And you know, when it comes to you doing music and putting music together, how does it work for you? Do you write it down? Do you freestyle? How does the whole process work?
For me, it works in every way. Because sometimes I can be in the toilet, but me never leave my pen, and sometimes I have to write it down on the toilet tissue. That's so extreme it gets sometimes. And sometimes it just come right away because I have a home studio. And sometimes I get a vibe, I just put down a guide track. You know, and sometimes I can just sit down and I don't have a version or instrumental, I just write down something and it's just like notes. But for when I'm voicing, I could go back to them notes and say, okay, I remember I had these vibes and thing. But music is just everywhere to me. Everything is music. Every situation is music. Everything is just music because that's what music is about. You sing about situations and circumstances where people can relate to. Yeah.
Definitely agree with that one for real. And you know, at the moment, who are you listening to? Who are you kind of locked in with?
You know, in all truth, you know, I want to say even R.I.P. to the great legend. The legend that passed away the other day. What's his name? Oh, could I not remember the
Lee Scratch Perry.
Lee Scratch Perry. Lee Scratch Perry. I was really locked into Lee Scratch Perry before him transition. And, you know, you learn so much from this virgin because people may say he's eccentric and he's different. But him have a way, if you're picking up, you can pick up. Because him say some things where, it really go deep, solely. You know, so Lee Scratch Perry is a man who kind of lock into from in a couple months now still. You know? So, yeah.
Yeah, that man makes beats differently. Like I was speaking to Black Dread the other day, and he was saying to me that he would record, like you would go outside and record the birds tweeting, and then put that on a rhythm, and you would be like, wow, you know, like all these different beats and so on. So do you take inspiration from that? Are you recording birds and different things?
You know, it's a thing that I've been doing from time still, and my children them was like, why I'm always up in the spider's face and. Why, you know? Because I never try to kill a spider nor kill an ants. I try to usher them out. And they be like, no, just get to them. You know, children always scare the little insects and things. But I learn from them and say, consider the way of the ants, you know?
For real. Definitely.
So inspiration
and you know
is all around.
For real. And you know, we've lost so many greats, you know, so many greats this last year and the year before and this year up and coming from Bonnie Whaler with Toots and the Maytals, you know, and the list continues, you, Roy. And I wanted to know, what did those guys do for you to inspire you into the music?
Well, I just say everyone had their role to play and everyone had their part to do. And you know what I mean? We talk about legends like, you know, Toots and you know what I mean? You know, it don't get better than that because in our day and age now, we are not seeing the immersion of them kind of mind anymore. Everything is more boxed up and is into a package where it is packed to be sold. While those days it was original and organic and it was not influenced. It was so pure. So really and truly the creators of all, you know, they teach us, they taught us everything. And we just have to give thanks and always, you know, pay homage to the ancestral powers. And even as I say, passed away of people, I've lost 2 sisters in 2020. And, you know, at first it was like so much weight on me. And even though every day we still think about it, we now accept them in the form of ancestors. And it makes us even stronger knowing that when they were around, they would have said this and they would have done that. So it gives us a vibe to keep on moving. So we say, you know, hail to Sister Tahira, hail to Sister Sherian. I would know their ancestors now and, you know what I mean, they work in a different dimension. You know, so while we are here now, we just have to put our mark. You know what I mean? Because no one knows the time nor the hour when their light will say, okay, you're going to be transmit to a different formation or a different vibration. You know?
For real. You know what? I just wanted to send my deepest condolences to yourself. You know, it's so sad to hear that that's happened, but at the same time, they're on your shoulders. They're following you, definitely.
Definitely. Give thanks.
For real. And so lots of people are commenting, saying that they like your style, your flavor, your vibes. What is up and coming? I know you spoke about an album. What have you been doing during this COVID period? And also, what can the listeners expect for the future?
Well, you know, Ras Negus I is always into holistic healing. And I run a juice business. You know what I mean? I want to say big up all of my, you know, my Mona High School friends them from that time, because I see quite a few in the comment sections and all that, because they've been cheering me on from school days and was anticipating my arrival in the music world forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So really give thanks to know that they are still here with me and still, you know, looking out for me. You know what I mean? So, you know, Ras Negus I, as I say, I'm into healing. And I'm always trying to, you know, give a good sound. So even when I want to hear a song, even if they're feeling sick and feeling down, them can really help themselves relieve that mental pain, because everything starts from in your mind. You know what I mean? So if you eradicate, you know, the traumas, we're hoarding traumas. So if we can stop hoarding the traumas and let them go. Because, you know, even sometimes I speak to my mom and she still have memories from she was 13-year-old and she hung on to them. And, you know, as my mom, she's the first one I'm trying to really help to relieve them traumas. And so we can have a different conversation. Because you never release it, the conversation is always the same. So, you know, we're just in that process right now of trying to help people. See, even, you see, all right, see that? The fullness, yeah? All right, I will interview and I'm soon talk to you. See? Just go on all over this. All right, bless. Yeah, I saw it. Look at bees just come through one time. All our vibes. Give thanks.
Bless it. But you know what, Ras Negus I, you're very, you know, you're trying to heal people. You're trying to bring positive messages. But who helps heal you?
You see what I realized, that, you know, you are your best healer. You know what I mean? Healing is really by choice. Healing is by choice, and if you don't make that decision to heal, you will be stuck into a loop. Like it just keep going around, and you don't stop. So we have to first forgive ourselves. We have to first, you know, learn to move on, and forgiveness is the greatest power. If one can learn to forgive and move on, they are winning. Because that's a super person. If you can forgive and move on and heal. So
definitely agree with that one.
I have helped myself really and truly, and give thanks to the energies, the positive energies that come from others. But you first have to accept the energy that they bring to you, and you have to heal yourself, as it's by choice.
Definitely. For real. And you know, when it comes to that, have you got any events coming up that people can come and check you out? I know COVID and stuff still happening, but is anything happening, or any lives, anything like that people can come and see Ras Negus I?
Well, and at all the rate of how things is going right now, I am anticipating a lot of bookings within a time. Because as you can see, the situation is just freeing up, just about. I'll make sure send them out there to the world so ones and ones can know what's happening.
Definitely, for real. And you know, we're coming to the last little bit of the interview. Lots of people are liking the vibes, liking your energy. Would you be up for singing a little something live for the people out there?
Yes, of course. And this one, you know, I'm always on the energy where I am singing about the political vibes and, you know, the traumas of the world. But right now I'm going to sing a more calmer song, especially for the sisters them who are in love or who's going to be in love soon, or, you know what I mean? This one is called
for real.
You know what I mean? All right, listen up. I picked a rose, you know, this morning in my garden. Roses I was pruning. And then, you know, girl, I saw you as you were passing. I said, this rose, you know, it looks so good with the uniform you're wearing. So she stopped, she kimbered and kept on smiling. She said, you know, Rasta man, you're so charming. She said, you know, Rasta man, I find the ways, they're so adorning. But I say, run along to school. You got your lessons to do. And girl, you know when you're through, it will be me and you now. Put a lesson in your head before you hook up with the dread. Ease out.
Hey. More energy, more love.
Yes,
Big shout out to everybody who's been sending love hearts, smiley faces. We see you, and it's always a blessing. You know what, Ras Negus I, keep blazing that positivity, and of course, you've always got my support, for real.
Naturally, man. It's a joy, man. And give thanks to the platform, so could I really express yourself
Anytime.
and, you know, send out the energies to people out there, 4 wings, you know. Judith, you don't know, you know, stylist, you know, no real way, you know. Ras Negus I is a joy. You know what I mean? Everyone on the live, give thanks. You don't know if we start,
yeah, man.
You can't stop. So it's love fully,
fully,
in every way.
Definitely. But you know what? What would you like to say to the listeners on IG, the listeners on the radio? What would you like to say to them for our final thought?
I want to tell them that healing is by choice. And we must stop hoarding negative emotions and stop hoarding traumas. You know what I mean? Let them go. Let them go.
Yeah.
And start a new conversation.
Yeah. Definitely agree with that.
Everyone still, you know, give thanks.
For real. Yeah, you know what? It's been a blessing, Ras Negus I. We have to do this more often. Keep it coming, keep the flames coming, and big up everybody who's been locking in, for real. We definitely appreciate it.
All right, more love and joy. I will have to say, bless up Mama Road, bless up Harry Joseph, bless up Jedites, Stone, the 12 tribe family, the Rastafari family, 4 wings, and all that who've been cheering on Ras Negus I musically and otherwise. More love.
Yeah, man.
DJKAT, the
more love
is more joy. And remember, keep black to DJKAT-a-lyst, you know, right now, your thing is up. Real way. Give thanks to life and give thanks to the love. Every time.
Every time.
More strength.
Bless up. Bless.
Love.
Every time. Yeah.